All right, it's just past 11:01, so let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started today. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you can hear me and everything is looking good on your end and that you can see my screen. And for those who just joined, thank you so much. If you have questions about the training today or anything that you are working on, please go ahead and post those in the Q&A section. That is where we can review and also transcribe and share the answers that we have. My colleague Harsh is with me today, and he will be reviewing all the questions and answering along the way. So feel free to use this time to be super engaged with us. We're excited that you're here and hope that what we are showing you will allow you to have great success with using QuestionPro. So today is part one, which is the overview. We'll go over all the real basics and how to get started with QuestionPro. My name here is Esther Lavielle. I'm a Customer Communications Manager. I have over 13 years of market research experience, and I always like to say that I love surveys more than anybody that I know personally. And this is one of my favorite parts of my job, which is to train and connect with customers, learning about what you're trying to do with the tool and offering best practices. So when I'm not doing surveys or talking about surveys, I enjoy traveling, experiencing new cultures, different things, and I also like to do little costumery. So feel free to go ahead and connect with me. I'm happy to answer any personal questions that you may have, or you can hit me up on LinkedIn or Twitter. So on our agenda today, we're going to talk about what is QuestionPro. If you're new to us, I'd love to tell you a little bit more about QuestionPro and why we're an amazing company to partner with, and how to get started with QuestionPro, how to create surveys, all the different settings that you have, different response collection options, and how to, in terms of how to deploy it. We'll look at reports and analytics in QA. Now we do offer part 2, 3, and 4, which actually dives in even deeper into different settings, analytics, logic, skip patterns, and different things like that. So this is basically an overview of it, but if you want to know a little bit more, like further extend your knowledge in certain areas, definitely join us for the following weeks as well. So, and we do all of those live. So what is QuestionPro? So we are a leading provider of online survey software that allows users to get research done, and we specialize in surveys, polls, forms. We do basic to advanced market research solutions, and we also offer customer experience, like user CX, customer CX platform. We have Workforce, which is an employee engagement platform, Communities, which does online panel management solutions, and also QuestionPro Audience, where you can purchase sample to help you with all different kinds of market research that you're looking to do, from competitor analysis to new research in new products and tools that you're looking to go into different markets into. One of the great things about QuestionPro is that we are very heavy on data visualization and integration. So if you are using tools outside or inside of the tool, it is all very visual friendly. It's fully customizable, and you can also integrate and push data out into other third-party tools, or your own proprietary tool as well. And we also are the #1 tablet-based mobile research platform. So if you are looking to replace the pen and paper on your block and do surveys, like if you're doing surveys outside of a grocery store or at a festival, we have been popping up all over the place worldwide. I think the only continent we're not on is Antarctica. But other than that, we have gone into the depths of so many different areas and done online and offline research, so you don't even have to have a internet access to collect data, which is wonderful. And we also offer we call it 24/5, but really it's 24/7 global support. So no matter what, wherever you are, if you're gathering data or if you're stuck doing some analytics, you can always reach out to us, and we have people on staff that are always ready to help you all throughout your project. So that is one of the great things about us. So, and of course, we're located globally. So, we're headquartered in Austin. I'm actually in Portland, but we're all over the place. And anywhere that you're working, we have a time zone team that can reach out and work with you during your working hours, which is wonderful. And so let's go ahead and take a look at, creating surveys and being able to use a qualitative and quantitative method to get started. So in our training, we usually focus in on two license types. We have the professional license and the corporate license, which is an upgrade from our free license. So you can see the different ones that we have. With a professional license, you get all the basic questions available. You can use email addresses and update some contact information. And then you'll have access to the online dashboard and be able to download the reports. This is a single user license. It's great for like one-off projects. So if you're just coming in, doing some basic surveys and, looking, 8 to 10 questions and just really basic, that's a great one to go with as well. The corporate license is going to give you a lot more power and be able to access more advanced question types. This is where you'll be able to do mobile and offline surveys. The surveys itself can be mobile friendly, so if you're sending it out via email or using the link, this is where you'd want to send it out and use. You'll be able to email it through our system if you need to. And then you can also add additional contact information and profiling information, and then access all the different logic skip options for different question types, and also be able to manage your email lists. And let me just jump back there. And in addition to the online dashboard, downloader reports, you also have some powerful online filter and segmentation and analytics tools that you can do with the real-time data that we're collecting. So let's talk about some response collection options. So in addition to the tools that you'll see, you can send it out via email, you can send it out, social media, make it viral. There's so many different things that you can do, and I'll show you exactly where that is. You can connect it with a panel management tool or sample company. So there's lots of different things in terms of how you can deploy your survey and get the maximum responses. And in terms of reports and analytics, like we talked about earlier, real-time data dashboards and downloadable reports are available for everybody. And then when you want to do some advanced analytics, doing some filter and segmentation, and really dive deep into the responses and analyze how different groups of responses are different and they change, that would be what you can do once you upgrade to at least the corporate license and higher. We also offer text analytics and word cloud analytics. So if you're looking at open-ended text and want to quantify that and be able to bucket and analyze, words, that would be something that you can also do as well. So let's go ahead and jump in to a live demo of the platform. And we'll just go over the overview. And first of all, just once you've logged into your account, you can see that you'll have the option to start a new survey. And we'll go ahead and just click on that. And you can give it a name, or you can use a template. And I'll go ahead and show you that these are all customizable templates that you can click through and use. I'll go ahead and just open one of these. And I'll also show you that, even if you pick out a basic one and just add all your questions that way, it pretty much has all the same tools that you'll see with the pre-built templates. So let's just look at an audience evaluation. And then you'll be able to review what this looks like and then customize it to your needs and also add new questions. So that's what we'll do. And that will pretty much cover if you were to start a survey from scratch as well. So as this is opening up, you'll see that this new survey is built and everything is customizable. So if you click through here, you can add the questions. update it as you need, or if you need to customize in bulk, on the bottom right hand you have the edit option in bulk, and this will allow you to copy and paste your answers if you need to. Now, if you are looking to, build a survey from scratch, basically after you add the name of the survey you're looking to build, you'll be able to click on Add Question, and this is where you'll be able to access basic to advanced questions. Now, with the basic the professional license, you'll have access to the basic questions, and you'll be able to preview it by just scrolling over all the different options. So we do offer multiple choice, graphical rating, ordering, some static content. So if you need to add presentation text and adding some formatting things, that's a great thing to do. Text questions, image options, basic matrix questions, and some miscellaneous things that most surveys have, like date, time, CAPTCHA, maps, etc. And then for the advanced question types, we have like customer satisfaction questions, some image and multimedia questions, which you can add, things from, videos from YouTube, choice modeling, advanced matrix, some data reference question types, mobile questions, etc. So those where you can access those. So if you go to the basic one, you can click on select one, and then this will add the question template in which you can go ahead and copy and paste your questions, or just type it in here. And I'll just do something simple. And then you can answer it one at a time. Oops, that's how you spell red. And then again, if you want to edit it, you can open it up this way. Now within here, you also have various setting options. I want to open those up for you guys. So after you add your question, go to the right top of the right-hand side of the template, of the question template, and you'll open up settings. To the right, you'll have answer type options. So if you want to change it from radio to checkbox, you can. You can also update the layout from vertical to horizontal for different formatting and real estating options. And then you can also update your answer display order. So if you want to alternate the colors, question tips, or you can do it randomization. So, sometimes blues on top, sometimes reds on the bottom. And then you can also add some different scaling options from here. And even inside the edit book, you have a scale library you can update, and you can specify what these are. So if it's red and blue, but you want to indicate that it's, demographic information or dichotomous scale, different kinds of things, allows you to mark what they are. And this is really helpful when you're doing any kind of, advanced research. So it adds additional layers. And then you also have the option if you like to copy the survey question over again. So if you have different elements of it that you would like to use again in the survey, you can. You also can copy it to a library by clicking on these three buttons, and that will allow you to save it for a different time, and you can access that question, save yourself some, time building that out, and you can, do that later and use that survey question later. It's great for profiling information if that's pretty simple, standard stuff that you usually do. So you build it once and then access it pretty regularly. Then from there, you also have logic options. So this is where you'll be able to add skip patterns, compound delayed branching, quota control, some extraction. I won't go in too deep with this today, only because we do spend time in part 2 to add those. But basically, this is one of the huge advantages of upgrading to corporate, where you can add, if they answer a certain question, you can skip them to question 2 or 3 or so on, or terminate them from the survey, and make your surveys smart and have them work for you, which is great. So those are things that for you to consider. And we'll jump into that more next week, but I would say This is where you can learn it, and all the different options in terms of learning how to do it. If you want to go ahead of myself and not wait until next week, you can just click through this question mark and then learn more. But it's pretty self-explanatory, very simple. It's a lot of point and click. You don't really have to do too much typing, or you don't even have to code. So it's pretty nice on that side. The next thing that you'll see here is that you'll have the option to turn on validation. And there's two kinds of validation that we have. We have a forced validation, which makes it required. And then we also have one that's not a forced validation, but you can, kindly nudge somebody. And we actually just rolled that out a couple weeks ago, so I wanted to show that. And basically it allows you to note that, hey, you forgot to answer a question here, would you like to go back? And then basically before they can advance, they have the option to choose to go back. So there's two kinds of validation. There's either you force it, make it required, or it's not required, but you would like to give them a friendly nudge and let them know, hey, you missed these questions, want to go back, and then they'll take them back to the questions, answer it before they move forward. So that's something pretty nice with the validation. And then, of course, you'll have the option here to preview it and to see what it looks like. If you want to make changes before you continue, you can just pop back inside here and update it. So if I decide I want to go ahead and add another question or another answer option, I can do so and save that. So one of the good things about our platform is that everything is rich text editor friendly. So once you click in here, there's a lot of different things that you can do. So clicking through red, and then this down button will open up the rich text editor. And what that means is you can go in, add different, font size, image colors. So things that you've seen probably like in Microsoft Word or Google Docs and stuff, so you'll be able to do font size, change things. So really customize it to your liking and feeling. And if you want to add an image in there as well, just as long as it fits the template, you can really, customize it to your needs. So that's one thing I wanted to point out as well. So those are things that, people don't always know, but you can see that from inside. And so once you have your survey built out and it looks good, let me show you a few other things I think you might be interested in. Just from within this page, on the top right-hand corner, there's a tool. There's a thing called Tool, and you'll have various different options here where you'll be able to do a compact view. You can test the responses, which allows you to add test responses and see, like, okay, what does my survey like if I put 100 results on? And then this will allow you to get some dummy data and review what the results look like, which I really like to do before I send out a survey officially and have it tested. So I have a good idea of what the potential data looks like. So once this is set up, waiting for this to update, then we can jump into the data and see what that looks like. But other things you can see here is that you can look at your logic criteria. So if there's any logic that you've applied, which we'll go over next week, you can review that. You can look at your flow chart to see how your survey flows. If there's anything that's broken, it'll note and let you know, which is great. And then it also allows you to download the survey itself in Word file, Adobe, and also print. So that is some really cool things that I don't know if people know about, but it is there, so that's great. Next one, next to Workspace, is the design. And this is where you can update your standard themes. Ours is the default blue color, which is our company colors, but if you don't like our colors or prefer something else, that's not a problem. You can update it and do a quick preview and see what you prefer. And you can customize the color to your HTML color needs. You can actually copy and paste those in there and get the exact color your company uses. And then you can also change your font. These are the various fonts that we offer, and save those. There's also the opportunity to open and customize each section. So you can customize the survey, the theme color, the background, so you can get even more customize, the theme, the color, the picture, so if you want a bigger looking survey or smaller looking one, you can add different kinds of things inside the custom themes. And if you want to get even more fancy, we do offer custom CSS options. So if you're looking to add something interesting, you can actually go and work with a designer and you can make that happen. But a lot of things are point and click and makes it a lot easier. And then we also offer display setting changes that you can customize. So if you want to change your progress bar or remove it, if you want to change the next or finish button, you can display question numbers or not. You can add a back button or not. So there's lots of different things you can do. You can add a social media toolbar if you want to make it go viral and save all those as you would like. The next option is your media library. So if you are using any logos or images in your survey, you can choose to add them here or add them within the survey using the rich text editor. All of those things that you have are going to be available here. Everybody has up to 100 megabytes right here that you can use, and I'll tell you if you need more. Obviously we do offer packages or licenses that allow you to use more, but it does support video, images, GIFs, those kinds of things. And you can see I have a whole bunch of interesting things, like I can post interesting stuff on my surveys, so it's not just solid images. Next, we do offer some language options, so that will allow you to create multilingual surveys and still import and review all the data all at once. So if you're doing like an English and Spanish version survey, you can add other languages and then select which ones that you want to include, save it, and then what it will allow you to do next is import the responses via an Excel spreadsheet, and then allow you to make changes to any of the custom settings that you just saw with the different commands within the platform. A lot of those are built in ahead of time, but you do have the option to change those if you need. So you don't have to be like, next is this, finish is this. We actually have those pre-built in, but if you do want to make changes to those too, we also offer that option to you as well. So everything is really nicely customizable. Next option is the finish options. Now this is where, when you send a survey out, how do you want to thank them? Do you want to thank them with a link, or you want to do nothing and you can just let it go? That's totally fine. It's up to you. But sometimes we always like to think that this is your opportunity to do just a little bit more marketing. So you can do a thank you page with a link, and then push them out to a website. So you can push them out to your website if you like, or something interesting, or if you are offering a special deal on something, or then you can set that up from inside here, and then you can customize the message and also add some identifying messages. So if you're uploading information, you can customize it with their name, profiling information, maybe even things that they have answered that allows them to identify and customize the message to the respondent. Next, we also offer some advanced quotas. This is available for those with a corporate license or higher. So if you want to weight things out 50-50, add some additional custom variable criterias, or advanced quota control where you want to make sure that only 500 people take the survey, and from 500 you want to only have 100 people come from the East Coast, and 100 people come from the West Coast, and so on and so forth. So you can set up those criteria as you would like. So that is one of those. We also offer some variables. So if you want to map your variables instead of using custom 1, custom 2, custom 3, you can go inside here and rename everything. So instead of having custom 1, custom 2, you can put information like city, state, years of employment, what have they purchased, just anything that you know about a person ahead of time. That's going to help you with filtering and segmentation, and just making the whole project a lot smarter instead of having to guess what it is in the back end. That just makes things a lot easier. So I always like to put the display name, and then the code is just anything you code, in the back end on your own. A lot of times the display name and the code is very similar to each other. So if you put address, you just, usually it's just the same. So that is usually what happens there, and you save that. And once you've uploaded the list or collected data, it matches and you can download it and see, instead of this profile's person with different custom variable boxes that are unnamed, you can name and customize and make it a lot easier for analysis, which is great. Now there are some survey settings that we wanted to go over, and that just allows you to apply and activate and set up some overall quotas, some close dates and stuff. So you have the option to update your survey status. So if a survey status is active, that means that the link, no matter what, will continue to be active out there, and you can send surveys and people can click on it and it'll allow them to start. Now, if you click it to inactive, that means that even if they click on the link, they can't even start the survey. It'll tell them it's inactive. You can do an overall response quota, so that will allow you to say like, oh, I just want like up to 500 or 1,000 people, but I don't need anything further or more in detail. If you do, just go back to the advanced quotas. But if you just want to do something basic, you can do that. If you want to put a time limit on how long you want to keep a survey open or active, you can say, I just want the survey open until the end of March. And then set up an inactive message, and set up also options to either allow multiple responding or turn off the ability to only allow a person to take the survey once. You also have the option to save and continue. So that means that if someone is taking a long survey and they need more time to complete it, there's a button that can add to the survey. They will be able to open up the email, and then our system will automatically send them a URL and let them start where they left off. And then if you want to add a countdown timer, so if it's like a test or something, and tell them like, hey, you only have 5 minutes to complete the survey, and they'll just motivate people to complete the survey, you can do that. And then of course, if you want to allow the search engine indexing, so if it's a survey that people are interested, maybe potentially searching for in Google or all the other kinds of search engines, then you can pop that in and help it to go viral if you like. Most people don't, but we have that option there for some who do. Some other settings include some security settings. So if you want to apply like global password protects, you can do that and add a password. You can also add an email validation. So if you're using a list, you can validate who they are and what password you sent them, and what credentials they include and from what email list that you're going to include. And then, or if you want to add a simple username and password or a participant ID, which is an ID that you assign to each person. And then you can also look at like passwords which are detected automatically. You can do email invites only. You can do a Facebook Connect where they validate who they are through Facebook. You can also do single sign-on, which is great for like internal tools. Same thing with HMAC and DES. So once you save those, then you can update and apply a security setting. The last one in here that you'll see is that you'll have the option to add notifications. And this will allow you to, send a thank you message after someone's sent in a survey and their responses. You can email them and thank them for their time. This is a great way if you are sending like a gift certificate or like coupons or something like that. You can send it directly to them. You can also set up an admin confirmation email. So that means that once someone finishes the survey, you get a response that something is going on and that they've completed it. Who was it? All that kind of information. And you can open up the settings, see who they are, who should it go to, and what information to include. And then we also have what's called action alerts. and this will allow you to set up action alerts, and we'll go over that in our next meeting. But this will allow you to set up alerts based off of how they respond in a survey. So if someone responds negatively at a certain threshold that you have set up as a criteria, then you have the ability to be notified and be able to respond to them actively. And not only you can do it, but you can also set up groups of people to do it. So if it's not you, it could be like a regional manager or someone within the company that's responsible for taking care of customers. That could be something that you can set up. So those are a lot of different things that you can automate and help improve with your different kinds of surveys that you're looking to help. So if someone, it's great for those that, you know, if you have a negative experience, someone's unhappy, to be able to, you know, you have a fine opportunity, or just like a small window of opportunity to make changes, and this tool will be you know, giving you that quick notification to make that change right away instead of waiting and not knowing about it a lot longer. Now we'll go to the next tab next to edit, which is distribute, and we'll go into this a little bit further on our third part of our training, but I do want to show you that you'll have the option to customize and send emails out. You can either copy and paste them here, or you can add a new email list. And I'll show you all those email lists here and be able to update as you need and customize and import that information and drag and drop inside. You also have advanced options, in which you can see below here how much information you want to include. So as I had said earlier, if you have information with custom variables, you can actually add a ton of information, up to 255 variables on a person that you're looking to survey. So lots of opportunity to really understand and profile people while they're responding, so that's great. And of course, like any kind of survey that you create, you'll have a template that you can access and review. You can create several different templates, so you don't have to do one at different ones manually, one at a time. And you can use it, save it, make it global or to a particular survey. And then you can access those surveys at any survey emails at any time. The next one you have is the embed option. So if you want to embed a survey into your website, you can just give them this link and then share it out and have your graphic design front-end developer use it to update your website with the survey, and they can take it directly when they hit that website. Here's all your sharing options. So that includes Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Clicking on those will connect directly to your accounts if you're logged in there. And if you're not logged in, I'll ask you to log in. Then you can post and let it go viral. This here is a QR code, which is still around, and you can download that and print it out, use it in immediate responses, and people can use a QR code scanner to start giving you feedback. Next is the community option, which you can connect and add different community projects. And if you have a communities platform, that's where you can say, okay, I want to use this community to send out this survey. And if you're looking for audience, you know, sometimes it depends on how you do it. Sometimes people like to buy it ahead of time. Some people like to build their survey first and then go ahead and get a quote. And you can say, you know, hey, I want like 100 responses. I need to get the survey done within this time. Here's my specifications. It keeps it pretty basic, but then if you need something even more niche, like I'm looking for vets in the United States and I'm looking for dog owners who have 2 or more dogs, they can help work and help pre-qualify certain people that fit your criteria, and they'll be able to give you a quote. And they reach out to you within 24 hours of sending a quote in. And we also have the mobile app, so this is where you can set up your devices. We have an app available in the iOS and Android store, and from there you can download and specify what the device name is, what's it attached to, what language, and what folders it has access to. And once you download the app, all you have to do is type in these username and passwords, and it'll be able to access the particular folder. And we'll go over manual sync and FTP syncs, but I just want to show you that we do have those there. And that just allows you to send data out to other tools, at certain particular times, and everything as well. Now let's just go over the basics for analytics. And let me just pop that open here. Just waiting for this update. And of course, if you guys continue to have any questions, feel free to post those in the Q&A section. And Harsh would be happy to answer those. I went all the way around. Now this might be a good place to start. So in the front here, which is basically your index or table of contents, so to speak, you also have the option that you can actually add different folders to your survey. So if you want to manage and organize it, or drag and delete a folder, it's a lot easier to do. You also have the option here, if you are inside of a folder, to go to the right. You can edit, distribute, analyze, make a copy, or delete it, or you can rename or move surveys into different folders. You can also choose to share your folders. So if you're working on it with a team, you can give them access and say, oh yeah, I want this person to edit, report, and copy. Or if I want someone just to have reporting access and give them a dashboard account, you can add users there as well. So this is where you can also access analytics once you're inside the platform. So let me go ahead and wait for that to pop open, and we'll review two parts of it, which will be the online dashboard and where to download the reports. We're just waiting for that to open. All right, here we go. So this is the online dashboard report, and it's in real time. So as you are, looking and having people collect and answer data for you, you'll be able to see, within minutes what you're getting. And so you saw earlier that I added some test responses. So this is the results of those tests. And also I did a preview, so it also marked who viewed my survey. And within here, you do have different options to edit your report settings, and you can use this to share your results, which are ongoing. So you'll be able to update your dashboard settings. So if you want to remove the maps or add a different map or add word clouds or time series, all these various things, or you want to customize the questions instead of showing all of them, just a few, you can customize those as you would like. You can also add your title and logo and customize your theme again. So similar to what you saw with the survey, might as well change it for your company color and font. And then you can set up some sharing options as well. And within here, you'll have the option to filter your data. So if you want to filter according to either questions, some system variables, geolocation, dates, or saved groupings, you can do that. So if you select a question and then specify what you want to filter, you can do that. And then you can also go and save the filter so you can access it and look at it later. You can manage all of the different filters that you've applied, and you can reset it. So if you don't like that filter, you can update it, remove the filter, and then now you can just look at the data as whole. Within the real-time report, you can scroll down and see that each question has its own section, so you can update the different settings within the report and configure it to your liking. So you can update your statistical calculations, your scales, your scoring, and your percentage calculation mode. Next to it, you can also change your chart type. So you can move it from pie to columns, to bar, to line, etc. And then you also have the download option. So if you want to download the survey, this is for the particular question, or just then you can download it from here. You can also look at trend data. You can also look at the banner pivot table based off of this particular question. And then right next to it is your sharing options. And this is just sharing this particular section. Keep in mind that if you want to do the whole thing and share the whole report, on the top right hand here, you have the option to download Excel, CSV, and more. So that's where you can add those things. Now this section here that I just showed you is just for the question, and you can apply it and save it as you would like. The other interesting thing within the real-time data is that underneath the answers, count, percentage, etc., you can click on the count, and what this will do is that it will take you to the response viewer. Now the response viewer, there's two ways to get there. You can actually go there from the dashboard page, and then also click through here through the drop down and click on participant stats, or click on response viewers to get there. But if you want to get a quick way to see who the people that answered the survey, you can click through and see their ID and update their information. If there's any like survey, I would say like typos, that's a great place to make changes if you need to. So that's the dashboard. Now, the other area I want to show you is manage data. So this is where this is where you can download your information, and as you can see, all the different options that you can do. The other thing you can also look at is where you've downloaded and what your history is for the information and what type of data set it is. And the great thing about that is that you can click through and see what that particular document was. So if you have downloaded it before and don't remember, you have access to it again, and you can review it and download it as needed. The one thing I do want to show you, so if you're looking for a downloadable data, but for a particular response group, you can also do that. And what this will allow you to do is to create the data and be able to filter according to a particular response that you might have. So you can set up a criteria according to, again, started, completed, terminated, or responses in the survey. You know, which color. So if I'm looking for people that selected red, you can do that. And then apply the filter below. Oops, let me move that out. We don't need that. And pretty much once you set that up, then you can go into the report options and review the dashboard according to that new filter, and be able to download the data according to the new filter as well. So that is one thing that you can do inside there. And then of course, once you have that, you can access the download center to see everything that you've downloaded. So that's great. And of course, the last piece is the export option. So this is where you can customize. So it's a little bit more instead of just the data set. You can customize what you see when you download. So again, Excel, CSV are the options. And then you can add open-ended text or not, add display answer codes or not, and then filter by time, etc., and then download it. and you'll get a notification on the bottom here. You also have charts and analytics exports. You have SPSS exports. So if you're using SPSS to do your analysis, you can do that there. And then also we have SQL and XML exports as well that you can upload into other tools. If you're looking to automatically integrate your tool with the data with other tools like Salesforce or Marketo or anything like that, we have several ways that you can do that. You can integrate it with all the different codes that we have, like through HubSpot, Caspio. One that we just added recently is through Zapier as well. So, and they have thousands of ways that you can link directly and just make your workflow life just so much easier. So definitely recommend to check them out. But if you're interested in taking a look at a few of these options here, you can look at integrating and having this information stored and reviewed on a different platform. So that is basically the conclusion of our platform overview. So you can see we have quite a bit of information and quite a bit of stuff that we go over. However, it's pretty basic. So if you want to go and learn more next week about doing logic, so skip patterns, scoring, compound delayed branching, how to set up the criterias, and you haven't had the time to learn on your own through our help files, and you'd love to see some examples from us, feel free to sign up at questionpro.com/training. And that will be where you can get started. Another thing you can also do is if you have any additional questions, I would recommend to reach out to the support team. You can reach out to people like Harsh and his team that are available 24/7 actually, and they can answer. So you can actually hit them up on chat or email them directly, and they'll be happy to look at your survey and see if they can offer you some suggestions and best practices to get you going. So again, just want to thank everybody for joining us today for the training. Again, if you have questions, feel free to contact us. I want to thank Harsh for being on the line with us, with reviewing and seeing. Looks like he answered all the questions already, so that's wonderful. So no need to do QA today. So I'll go ahead and conclude, and thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.